In today's video, I want to discuss what could be the next altcoin rotation for the crypto market. Over the last couple of weeks, sectors like AI and meme coins have been absolutely exploding, pulling 5, 10, 20x multiples across a variety of altcoins. And although I do still believe in AI as a narrative, in the shorter term, I do see some liquidity starting to flow into some new narratives, one of which I'm of course going to highlight in today's video and provide you my top altcoin picks. It's also a sector that I'm really bullish on, and it falls within my general thesis for this crypto bull run. As you can see, Bitcoin is now in price discovery. Firstly, I want to say congratulations to everyone that's stuck throughout the bear market. I did a video pretty much every single day of the bear market with multiple tweets a day. We had a smaller yet tight-knit community during that period, and it's absolutely amazing for all of you that stuck with me and just stuck with the crypto industry in general through FTX, Luna, Voyager, BlockFi, etc. to come out the other side and now be experiencing Bitcoin pushing above 70k and heading towards 100k. It's absolutely crazy, but we also deserve it. We stuck around. We were the ones that put in the hard work every day, and now retail is starting to flood back. But speaking of retail flooding back, this really holds the key to the thesis I want to unpack in today's video, and also this narrative rotation that I want to talk about. Because the thing you have to understand is that crypto is an extremely reflexive asset class. As prices move higher and higher, the fundamentals of crypto actually improve. And what happens is media talks about crypto more. It gains more awareness in not only traditional media, but also advertising circles, as traditional media gets more clicks, so they're incentivized to post about it more, and advertisers have more capital to spend on crypto ads. What do these two initiatives result in? Well, of course, more awareness for crypto, specifically more retail awareness. And when I say retail, although technically we are retail and you are probably retail, what I'm more so talking about is the participants that haven't really been paying attention to the market over the last couple of years and have really left after that 2021 bull run. And because of crypto's reflexive nature, what happens is price moves higher, the media covers it more, the retail jumps in because of this additional coverage, and they start to feel FOMO. Sentiment improves as a result because, as I said, the fundamentals actually improve as price goes higher, and then the cycle repeats because improved sentiment results in price moving higher, media covering it more, etc. So we're in this current flywheel, this positive flywheel for crypto. Now just remember, just as this flywheel can work in a positive effect like we're seeing right now, it can also compound and result in the opposite effect. And that's exactly what we saw in the bear market with prices crashing. And that's why crypto moves so rapidly compared to other asset classes. But what happens when retail gets into the market? Well, they aren't looking at buying the next layer 3 interoperability ZK aggregator. They want to invest in stuff that they can easily understand, and a lot of the time, they want to invest in stuff that they know and resonate with from last cycle. So what are some of the top narratives that were pumping last cycle? You have meme coins, you have gaming, layer 1s, and they also want to invest in narratives they can easily understand. A great example of this is the AI sector. Obviously, it's a narrative that's being spoken a lot about in traditional media, on social media, but it's also a massive financial bubble that is starting to build off the back of Nvidia's success and, of course, this shortage for GPUs. It's a massive narrative in traditional finance, and of course, that is now starting to translate in crypto, and that's why we've seen such explosive gains across the AI sector over the last few weeks. And I've been covering it quite a lot, and everyone that has been watching those videos, you should be significantly better off for it. I mean, I was covering this in November, as you can see. On my YouTube channel, I said top 3 AI cryptos to buy when Render was trading at $2.30. We want to take a look at the Render market cap now. It's trading almost $12, so that's roughly a 6x. You can look at Adjix as well. I was looking at Adjix at 22 cents as one of my top 3 AI cryptos to buy in November. And you can see that's now sitting at $1.20, so that's also up a 6x. So I've been covering this super early, but even 2 weeks ago and 8 days ago, I've also helped you guys catch that rotation with calls across FET, RSS3, AOS, Render, PAL, which are all up 1, 2, 300%, as you can see below. So we're sitting in a really good position. That's not to shamelessly claim clout, but that's to highlight the magnitude of being early to a new narrative and new rotations. I saw back in November last year that we were starting to see the major attempts to break out of key high time frame levels. I saw this was happening and I positioned myself accordingly. Adjix and Render were 2 examples, but you have to be in tune with the market and catch these rotations. And of course, that's why today I'm going to give you an update on what I think could be one of the next rotations. And of course, I want to remind you that if you do enjoy this type of content, if you do want to stay up to date in this crazy bull market with the latest altcoin rotations, of course, but also my altcoin picks, guides, strategies to make money, and more, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and click that notification bell. On this channel, I do believe in the saying, the early bird gets the worm. A lot of the information I give you is time sensitive. I'm doing daily uploads. So in light of that, some of the information is going to be even on the lower time frame, and some of the trades in today's video are specific to this week, and some of the trades are a little bit longer term if you want to extrapolate this narrative. So what rotation am I talking about? Well, I've covered meme coins, I've covered AI extensively in recent weeks. These are two of the narratives that fit strongly within my thesis of crypto's positive flywheel and retail jumping back in. But there's one more that I haven't really talked about, just because it wasn't time sensitive and the AI and the meme coin trades were much stronger and we've made way more money on them. But it's one that I think is going to crop up very soon, and that's gaming. So AI, meme coins, and gaming, they're my top 3 narratives for this bull run, as you know, if you've been watching my content. And gaming is starting to wake up a little bit over the past couple of days, and is starting to show signs, if you do look at the price performance versus a lot of these other runners, of starting to outperform slightly. And Alex Becker actually picked up on this a couple of days ago. He says, as the leader of crypto and voted most popular famous crypto advice man, I'm happy to declare it's now time for crypto gaming's next leg up. And I also liked Hustle's tweet here. He said, lock in for the next 12 to 18 months in the crypto markets and treat this cycle like it's the last. Gaming narrative is going to keep growing into one of the largest in crypto. Have conviction, don't get shaken out, scale profits out relentlessly. If you don't, someone else will. So many high quality game launches and long awaited token launches on the way. Stick to the game plan. So in today's video, I'll give you some of the shorter term trades that I think are going to perform well in the gaming sector. I'm also going to give you some of these new game launches that Hustle is alluding to here at the end of the video, some coins that I'm looking forward to, and sprinkled throughout are going to be some coins that I think could perform well in the gaming sector if we do see a broader rotation that we're already starting to see the signs of. And if you do want to trade any of these gaming coins, you can do so on BitGet. It has most of the listings for most of the medium and large cap gaming coins. And if you use the link in the description below, you'll get access to a $30,000 sign up bonus alongside a $10 airdrop. So one of the best bonuses that you can get on BitGet today, you can access via the link in the description if you want to trade any of these coins. Now, the reason I say trade is because there are some catalysts in the shorter term here. Obviously, you've had meme coins and AI run, so you're going to have that natural liquidity flow into other hot sectors, but you also have the GDC conference on March 18th, actually the same day as the AI conference. AI and crypto gaming are also kind of linked in terms of narratives because obviously they're really hypey, but there are also cross applications. So there is a little bit of hype here. I'm not reading too much into it, but conferences are always something to take note of when it comes to trading. I build out my gaming portfolio though, longer term, structured in this way. I use the pyramid approach, as you can see in front of you, where the base is my infrastructure. So my layer 1 bets, my layer 2 plays, so think like AVAX, IMX, these big chains, Beam as well. That's another strong gaming infrastructure play that I like. Then in the middle, you've got the gaming studios, things like Gala, Super could also be put in this category. You've also got some of the other lower cap studios, Vulcan Forge, etc. And these are your more medium risk plays. And then at the summit, you've got your higher risk plays. So these are your individual games, some of which I'll talk about today, lower in market cap, but higher reward. So at the summit, you get the highest reward, but you take up the most risk. And at the base, you get the lowest reward, but you take the least risk, like an IMX, like a Beam, like an AVAX, etc. So this is how I structure my gaming portfolio long term. So what gaming coins am I looking at right now? Well, the first one, and this comes in the form of more of a trade than a long-term hold, because I think at a 4 build val, Pixels as a long-term hold is not that great. But as a shorter-term trade, this is showing a lot of momentum. And if we do see a shorter-term rotation, so I'm saying this week, what I would look for is the breakout back into price discovery above $1 on Pixels. If we do get this drawdown to the 80-cent region, I probably will be adding on dips as long as the market structurally is intact. Of course, if Bitcoin goes on a major pullback and altcoins start to dip and we have a bit of a leverage flush, then I won't be aping like crazy. But if the market is still intact and we do get that dip, I'm interested in Pixels. On the contrary, I'm also interested at a break of the highs, just because it's showing strong momentum and these new coins that launch. I've talked about this thesis a bit in the past, but what happens is in the event of Pixels, you had early seed round investors getting an unlock, but you also had airdrop farmers getting their pixels unlocked, and a lot of them were selling during these first few days. So what typically happens with these new launches is there's a lot of sell pressure in the beginning, which results in price stagnating. And then what happens is once a lot of those airdrop jitters and the early seed round investors get their positions out, price actually moves out of this accumulation range and usually breaks to the upside if there's a low float, which in this case, there's only $670 million worth of tokens in the market, but there's a $4.3 billion FDV. So these high FDV, low float tokens, they do tend to pump. And this was an accumulation range that was tiresome for some, but when you come out the other end, they can really explode. And I'm also going to show you some other tokens later in today's video, which fit this bill as well. You can, of course, use these dips in the accumulation phase to buy up the token if you're bullish that the valuation post-launch is actually decent. If the valuation is too high, then it's not worth it. In the case of Pixel, the valuation is high, but the market likes it, and it's a leader in the sector. And I always like backing the leaders in the sector when I'm playing a rotation. So let's say I'm playing an AI rotation. The first thing I would look to long is FET, AJAX, and Render, like I talked about last year in that video in November, and I also talked about recently 2 weeks ago as some of the leaders. Because the leaders tend to get that initial liquidity flow and then it will trickle down into the sector. So if you're playing an early stage rotation, longing the leaders the best RR, then you can have some fun and play the laggards a little bit later. So that's why I like pixels from a trading perspective. Long term, not so keen. On the other hand, I really like this one, which is Beam Merit Circle as a long-term infrastructure bet. I alluded to my gaming strategy with this pyramid approach before. Beam sits firmly at the base as one of the most bona fide infrastructure plays in crypto. They've got an SDK, which also helps developers ship games faster by abstracting out a lot of the grunt work. They're also launching their own games on the chain as well. So I do like Beam. They have a strategic partnership with Pantera Capital. They have an ever-growing treasury. They're super active in the crypto ecosystem, buying assets across a variety of games, nodes, etc. So they're doing a lot of hard work on the BD side, and the price is performing really well and for good reason. I think this one, if there's further gaming bull run, and I think we haven't even really seen the true heights of crypto gaming yet this cycle, I think this one will perform well. Obviously, it's higher val. So as I said, at the bottom of the period, it's lower risk, lower reward. If you've only got a $100 trading portfolio and you're trying to make $10,000, this isn't the coin for you. But for anyone that wants that decent risk reward, I think Beam fits the bill nicely as a safer play that you could theoretically hold long term. And as Hustle said, you want to be scaling out of these plays over time. A bit of a riskier play, but that's also tied to Beam, just from a pure market cap perspective, is Forgotten Playland. It's the first game that launched on Beam. It looks really, really cool. I recommend checking it out in your own time. Full disclosure, I'm an early investor in Forgotten Playland. I'm still currently holding my allocation. I'll let you know if that changes. And Forgotten Playland's interesting because they're sitting at around a $40 million market cap. Beam's obviously been publicly supporting them. The game launches this month, and seed is actually locked for another few months. They raised $7 million from Spartan Beam Paper Ventures, and as you can see in front of you, has been chopping sideways. It's kind of showing this early stage launch price action that I alluded to on Pixels before, where you get this choppy price action sideways, and you kind of have a chance to build up accumulation before things explode, if they do inevitably explode. And it also fits the bill in terms of the float. $44 million market cap, 800 million FDV. Some people argue this is bearish, or it's overvalued. FDV in the short term is an absolute meme. If that's a lesson I can get across, I really want to get it across. Tokens do not respect their fully diluted valuations in the short term. Longer term, of course, as tokens start to get priced into the market and supply hits the market, you're going to get washed out by a bunch of tokens. But in the shorter term, from a trading perspective, actually it can often lead to an explosion because there's a low amount actually circulating and low liquidity in the market, which can result in, bigger price movements to the upside. So Forgotten Playland at a 40 mil market cap, I think this one is a decent one from a trading perspective. Next up is Mavia. Mavia is one that I talked about a few days ago, I think at around $6, and that was actually a really good buy on that day. I wish I actually followed my own advice and bought, because I didn't, and I still don't have an entry here, full disclosure, but I want one. So what I'm really eyeing on Mavia is one of two things, similar to Pixels. Either we get a pullback to this $6 to $7 region. If we do get that flush, that could happen. I'll speak about that at the end of the video with the current funding heat map. This could be a decent one to set limit orders on. That's another bit of alpha for you. Set limit orders on coins you want to DCA to prepare for these flushes. I'll actually allude to it a little bit now. You can see funding is starting to turn aggressively positive now, with a lot of longs starting to enter the market. So this doesn't always mean a flush is coming, because, we've seen this last for a period of days in the past where the market just keeps running. But this does lead to aggressive flushes when you do get them. And the tip there isn't to be scared. The tip there is to actually have limit orders set and watch the tokens which respond the most positive. I'm actually going to leave a link in the description to an entire trading strategy I did on the bull market flush theory. You're going to need to understand that concept if you want to maximize this bull run. I did a whole video on it. I'll link it below if you want to do some further education, because in the next few days, that could come very, very handy. Don't say I didn't warn you. So for Marvia, that's something I'm doing. Also, the break of all-time high. I love the price discovery plays with these new coins, especially, as I said, these low float coins that have a low market cap compared to their FDV. And Marvia, I mean, it has over 3 million downloads across iOS and Android. It's been super popular and a massive, massive success in terms of a launch. Now moving on to another new coin. You'll notice a lot of these gaming coins are the newer ones. I didn't have a chance to invest in Marvia, unfortunately. I did have a chance to invest at an earlier stage in Aether, which is a game that I think is really cool. It looks like Magic the Gathering. Basically, it's a trading card game. One of the better trading card games I've seen on the market, probably alongside Echelon Prime. Echelon Prime didn't make it in this video, but from a long-term perspective, I really do like that one. And I called it at $3. I think it's sitting at, $13, $14 now. But Aether's unique because they actually have IP for the Wheel of Time, a very popular Amazon series, and of course based on the books. So it's got a very strong community, which I think could actually attract a lot of Web 2 users. So this iteration of the game isn't launched yet, but their token recently launched, and it launched a little bit lower than I thought it would at a 238 mil FDV. I'm still holding this. Once again, I'll let you know if that changes, but I'm still holding because I think if we do see a gaming rotation over the next week or so, or maybe it takes a little bit longer, it depends on when we get an altcoin flush, I think this one can actually perform well, and it has those similar low float mechanics as a lot of those newer coins have that I mentioned. So those are some of the individual games I'm currently looking at right now that catch my eye. Another interesting vertical to get exposure to the crypto gaming narrative is via these infrastructure L1 plays. I think this could be, as I said, the kind of leader rotation where capital flows into these larger cap projects. A few come to mind. You've got Rodin, which is starting airdrops for stakers that could generate some hype. You've got AVAX, which is really pushing its gaming subnets. I do like AVAX, and a break of $50 could actually see AVAX try and push up more towards this $100 level. We've also seen this Solunavax trade start to run recently, so it's got a bit of, not meme, but weight behind it, not just from the crypto gaming narrative. IMX also fits the bill. Not so many specific shorter term catalysts for that, but it's also underneath this basket of infrastructure. And I mentioned before I would talk about some upcoming games that I like. I don't have any tabs up, but I can tell you Gunzilla is one that I'm really looking forward to. That's an absolute top tier game. I actually met with the team the other day. I thought it was super strong. Alex Becker obviously talks about it as one of his favorite games. I actually agree with his list here. I'm not in Pixelmon. I don't know if I like it, but Bloodloop I think is great. That's a 5v5 shooter game coming. You can get access to it via Cedarify for the IDO. Chrono Forge is one that I recently invested in. I think this one looks absolutely awesome. They have this guild model, which I think is going to be super cool. It's like a collaborative multiplayer action RPG. You can see the gameplay in front of you. It looks amazing. They use Unreal Engine. It'll be on the Epic Games Store. This, alongside Gunzilla, are probably the two strongest crypto games that I've come across in recent times. So that one is super cool. So I would strongly keep my eye on Chrono Forge. I really do like this one. But once again, full disclosure, I am an early investor. So that and Gunzilla are the ones I'm keeping my eye out in terms of the new launches. I'll let you know though if there are any more gaming launches in the near future, because obviously I'm uploading daily now, so I have a bit more scope to keep you updated with this shorter term stuff. So make sure you're subscribed so you get access to any new information that I do come across the gaming space, the AI space, etc. And I said I'd touch on funding a little bit. I kind of did spoil what I'm about to say before. But yeah, funding's starting to get more aggressive. Not always a sign that we're going to get a correction straight away. I mean, Bitcoin is now in price discovery. You kind of have to throw a lot of your logic out the window. Retail is coming back. They're going to ape. They're going to take on leverage. But what does happen in a bull market is we do get these deep leverage flushes. So that is why I'm going to link that video in the description below, so you can actually be prepared. Either way, I think gaming is going to be a strong performer. You obviously have to decide whether you'll take a more rotational bet maybe in the shorter term, or longer term, whether you're just going to position yourself and hold spot. For a lot of people, that's actually the best way to go. I do a little bit of both. I, of course, have my longer term gaming portfolio, and I also enter some short-term narrative trades just to have a little bit of fun, which is what I've done this week. Once again, if you do want to buy or trade any gaming coins, BitGet has access to most of them, and you can get access to that $30,000 sign-up bonus. And I'm going to see you in the next video tomorrow. Thank you guys for the support on the channel. Over 1 million views in the past month. Absolutely insane. It's my all-time high by quite a stretch in terms of viewership. So welcome to all the new viewers. I'm glad you are enjoying the alpha, and hopefully I can continue to live up to my end of the bargain with these daily shows every day to keep you on top of the market. I'll see you later. Peace out.